The fact that Northway, before CR was ever thought of in this building, went ahead and provided all this space is huge.
It made it a lot easier to invite like friends when you say like, just come play basketball, just come hang out with us. And that's just like another avenue to bring people in to church on Sunday morning.
If I have somebody that I want to talk to about something, anything, it's easy to just be like, let's go grab a cup of coffee at Cathedral. And I know it's like a safe place.
Community Bible study wouldn't be what it is without Northway Church. The rooms that you all provide for us to meet in are where families are birthed. Christian families come together.
God, what are you going to do with our ESOL ladies? You know, they're a part of my life. Are we going to do it at my house? Are we going to do it? Do you think Northway would let us use their space? And graciously they did. I talked to Stephen and he said, yeah, you can use the Student Center in any capacity, whether it's the lobby or the main room or whatnot. And ever since then, we've just picked it right up here, and my ladies have feel really, really welcome.
You know, being the head coach at Mercer and being a man of faith, you know, we want to make sure we're, you know, exposing our guys to the right messages. And so the opportunity to bring them to church here, and the church being so generous to feed us, you know, you're talking about 100, and when you count 110 players and 30 or 20 coaches and 30 support staff and their families, that's a big crowd.
For kids to actually come over and sit in a coffee shop where they're listening to Christian music, where they're around people studying the Word, for that to become comfortable, then this building just wasn't difficult or strange or odd to walk in if you hadn't been in a church. So absolutely. I'll tell you that both of my girls have invited many people to services here. Friday night praise and worship services, services during Holy Week, and in large part, people were willing to come in the door and come to church because they'd been to Cathedral Coffee, and they felt welcomed and they felt comfortable.
Since Northway took on the projects to invest in more space, now it's easier for us to invest in more people through just having the space for people to come, like our new student center, Cathedral Coffee, which has allowed just a lot of people from outside of Northway and our church to know about us and just to come to grow closer to Christ.
I lead the Northway Celebrate Recovery, and every Monday night we have between 200 and 300 people come in the door. Everybody floods into Cathedral Coffee. That is like a draw for every person before they even get to the main worship part of Celebrate Recovery.
I was a homeless person. Our housing fell through, and we managed to find housing with family eventually. And my cousin loves coffee shops, so he recommended Cathedral Coffee. I decided to come after going past it and figure out where it was. And it was a Monday night, and I didn't know that Mondays were special. But anyway, around 6:30, all these people started flowing in, and I'm thinking, wow, they really like this coffee shop because they can't wait. It might close in half an hour. And then when I turned around, the church was open. And so I went there and I saw one of the pamphlets, and it was talking about this program called Celebrate Recovery that I had never even heard of.
We do a large group at CR where everybody's in the main worship center at the same time. But then afterwards, we break up into small groups. We completely fill up the teen worship center. We completely fill up M Hall and A Hall. We're using both of the prayer rooms, the overflow room, and 3 rooms down on the kids section. Without that space, it would make it very difficult to host these small groups where people are finding real healing and being able to share what's going on in their lives.
I ran into Sean, and his light was so bright, and then I went into the sanctuary, and the sanctuary is everything about celebration. And after that, I did the 12-step program, and God is healing me, and I will be eternally grateful that God put me in that coffee shop.
Community Bible Study's purpose is to gather women around the Word, and we're able to do that through the spaces in Cathedral Coffee. So all of the tables and the sitting spaces just offer an opportunity for women to come together and to share what they're learning and how they're growing. And honestly, to have a meal together, to break bread together, to really get to know the Lord better together in that space. It's warm, it's inviting, the presence of the Holy Spirit is there, and lives are changing in there. So we are so grateful for the facility.
So working at the coffee shop is a lot different than I think any other place because of the relational aspect of it. And I think it's really obvious that we all have relationships with Jesus because of the way that we love our customers. And the people who come there are coming not just for the coffee, but the relational aspect of it too.
I think it's a wonderful place where women can grow and feel comfortable. People that do not have a church home often come in here and find that church home. So we are so grateful for Cathedral Coffee and for Northway.
So Cathedral is really the reason I'm at Northway, because I started working there whenever it first opened in 2018. So I'm one of the original baristas at Cathedral. And then the worship leader at the time, Eric, found out that I played keys, and so he invited me to be part of the worship team. So I did that and got plugged in with that community. And then joined a home team, the Young Professionals home team here. And that's where me and Matthew met. And then we actually got married in Cathedral about a year after we met. So
growing up here, I remember being like in the current overflow room, and that space it was very small, but it worked. It was functional. It was right next to as some of us know, it's right next to the sanctuary. So it was like we couldn't be too loud, especially during the service and things like that. That was something, and especially being in middle school, like that was like everyone was always constantly like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. The small group areas, we had like booths, and they were very small. And for some grades, like they couldn't even fit everyone they had at the booths. So like going into the new space, just like being down the hallway, especially I know looking back on it, like makes a difference just from like being away from everyone else, so we can be like loud middle schoolers and high schoolers, and that's really nice. I also, like a big improvement for me was just being able to have like individual small group rooms with doors that like close, and you can like have conversation in there that's like not open and heard by anyone else. Like that's a huge like positive impact. I would say also like the main sanctuary in the student room, that was like just being able to have a space like that with like really good technology. I remember the technology in the old room wasn't as great. Be able to have like a band in there on Wednesdays, and we would have youth and things like that. And then our big addition for me was like the basketball court as well. Like being able to have that space and just like have really fun like fellowship out there and play so many games of basketball was really good.
We were able to come to worship service and not kick other people out. You know, we were able to hear a great message and then be able to have the space just to let them be comfortable for a while and hang out. A lot of the guys played some ping pong in there and some video games. I think a lot of our guys have come back to Northway because of the experience they had. You know, Ryan being a former Mercer player, I think that's a special thing. And so it gave our guys a chance to be involved in church, to get a great meal, for it to feel like family, and then see a church where they could, you know, come back to and continue to come and worship while they're making them away from their normal family and their normal church at home.
My ladies feel really, really welcome here. Most of my ladies are Japanese. I have one Chinese young lady who comes, but most of them are YKK wives, and they're my heart. And coming to class, we talk about culture, we talk about English language, we talk about their families, we talk about marriage, we talk about everything, and we talk a lot about how weird it is to be in America and have all this new culture thrown in their faces. We've done dinners, we've done Thanksgiving dinners over in the Student Center. Everybody brings food from all different countries. It's pretty great, and they feel comfortable to go to Cathedral now, and they talk to Jacob over there, and then they come to class with coffee in hand, and just really aren't inhibited because they're at a church. They're at a place of comfort and peace.
You know, the ministries of this church have been a huge blessing for me. they've helped minister to me and build my relationship with the Lord back up, especially from where I was coming from, a place of brokenness when I first arrived here at Northway. So between the friends and family that we've made here, it's been really great. Obviously, if you look at my wife and my daughter, it's just amazing what God can do. Cathedral, just everything about this church that has become the center of our lives. We talk about in Psalms, David asks one thing, to inquire of the Lord in his temple, to sit at his feet, and I feel like we get to really live that out here at this church. We are continually in God's house, seeking him and finding ways to serve him, and we're super excited about what the future holds here at Northway.